Welcome to the Bliss View. This is where we talk about what's hot and what's not in the wedding industry. And this week we're going to be talking about wedding day music disasters and how to avoid them. And I can definitely say in the past 6 or 7 years in Bliss, we've had some wedding day music disasters.
Oh my goodness,
So,
yes.
Michelle, do you remember any?
I know your number one pet peeve is dead air. And I have been there where we had some just like, okay,
What's going on? And so what dead air is when there's absolutely no music playing, and it just makes it totally weird.
The weird thing about it is that people won't notice if there's music playing in the background, like a cocktail hour, if it's like soft jazz or whatever.
Right.
People don't even notice music, but if there's no music,
yeah.
they notice. They're
Yeah.
like, can we
It's
get
really
some?
quiet.
Can we get some violins? Can we get something?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you should never have dead air. It's so awkward
Yeah.
for guests.
I think for me, my worst one, or in the top two for sure, was at Prestonwood when the DJ
Didn't bring the chords.
didn't bring the chord and there was no music. And the couple was really disappointed because they wanted a certain introduction and it was all jazzy and they had really practiced it. And so, but it's like, how do you prevent that? Because, we're responsible for us and what we bring, but then here you have this DJ that, didn't bring the right equipment, didn't have the backup equipment, couldn't even touch with anybody. So how do we avoid that? Number one, don't hire your friends.
Amen. Amen, sister.
Yes.
Yes. Do not hire your friends. You need to
Yeah.
have a working DJ with a contract and a website and at least 2 years of experience before you hire them for your wedding.
Yeah.
Because really, hiring your friends just because they're going to do it cheap, you're sacrificing the biggest element of your wedding, the entertainment. Like,
Right.
don't do it. Don't hire your friends.
All right, so Sarah, what do you think about the iPod? Because you just did a wedding where we used the iPod and the iPad.
When I heard it, I was like, that's kind of cool, they'll save a lot of money, they can put whatever music they want into it, and then the bride walks in and nothing's playing because there's 50 different lists and I don't know which list it's on, and so yeah, if you've rehearsed it
Right.
10 times, then that's great,
Yeah.
but if it's just, a friend who's like, can you play My First Dance Song?
Yeah.
Sure, and then the bride's over there and it's just,
They don't know where it is.
Yeah.
And she ended up coming over,
Yeah.
leaving the sweetheart table, which is where the couple sits, and then coming over.
you don't want to do that on your wedding
Yeah,
day.
and it was
Right.
just weird.
Yeah.
So, any other ways to kind of avoid music disasters?
Well, I think it's always a great idea to have a separate ceremony and reception entertainment. Like, 'cause I had one wedding where they hired a DJ and they had ceremony musicians. The DJ was supposed to play one song at the ceremony, but the DJ was late. Super late, didn't have his equipment there. We had to start the ceremony late, and even then, he wasn't ready.
Right.
But the ceremony musicians stepped in. They really kicked up their game, and they played that song for the bride and groom on a moment's notice. So we had a backup in that system where we have these awesome ceremony musicians who are willing to step up and help us out. So
And I remember that groom saying to you, "Oh my God, let me be the testament to
yes,
like,
don't
not
hire your friends.
friends."
Listen to Rachel at Bliss by Sam. I will hire who she tells me.
Yeah.
Because I had asked him so many times, "Who's your DJ? Who's your DJ? Do you want me to give you some names?" He wanted to do it himself. And then the wedding day comes and it's disaster.
It just amazes me, like, your wedding day is not the day to practice that, or just be like, oh, I'm just gonna pick anybody. Like, you didn't just pick any dress, you didn't just pick any cake, any flowers,
Any
like
bride or
everything should,
yeah.
right, everything should be planned out. Like,
years for
you
that.
don't use that day as like the rehearsal day the first time.
Right.
You don't know
Yes.
what's gonna happen. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think so too, people need to remember that like a wedding is an event, so the DJ needs to be articulate and needs to be able to speak well and pronounce people's names and that kind of thing, because we have somebody who's at the club used to saying 1, 2, 1, 2.
Same thing as introducing Mr. and Mrs.
It doesn't work. So follow this conversation with us some more on DerekDevoted.com.